Wow, great band. So hi everyone, I'm Roberto from BBVA. Here with me, Jaime from VoiceMod.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Jaime, why don't we, I guess like everybody, I mean, like most people may know about BBVA a little bit, and even though we're going to talk about how we can help high impact companies like yourselves grow, why don't we begin with you telling us a little bit more about VoiceMod, about the history of the company and how you made it through here?
Well, at VoiceMod, we help people express themselves through sound in the digital spaces. So we have a voice augmentation technology that allows people customize the way they talk, customize the way they sound on the digital spaces. You can sound with an amplified version of your voice, a beautified version of your voice, or even a different version of your voice. And as of today, we have a software that has more than 30 million downloads over the world, and we are also opening our B2B lines recently. And this was really a long story. So VoiceMod started as a side project of one of my former companies back in 2009. So VoiceMod is really the first project that we did when we had the first iPhone in our hands back in 2009. So when we got the first iPhone, and back in the day we were doing developer for software, websites, and this kind of things, technology. And the first thing that we noticed is that this device will enable people to have small pieces of software that can be used everywhere. That was really changing the way we consume software. So we really understood that from the very beginning. And I co-founded this company with two of my brothers, and the three of us, we are musicians, we love technology. And so we decided we were going to do a fun project to learn how to do mobile apps. So the first project that we did was a voice changer that was running in real time on this first iPhone. And we really spent a lot of time on building this technology and building this experience back in the day. We launched this product in 2010, so we really were one of the early iOS applications in the store. And basically, since then until today, a lot of things have changed. So we born as a mobile-first company, but we found the product market fit when we export our technology and our products to the PC. So we were moving from a generalistic entertainment approach towards a more vertical, identity-focused approach. So also the society evolved a lot, the digital environments evolved a lot. And what we find today in our user base, in our customers, is that they use these solutions in a very, very different way as we intended to create them 12 years ago. So one of the things that I would say we learned through these years is that we should be asking and receiving feedback constantly from our customers and users, because at the end of the day, the tools and the technologies you create can be used in a very different way or with a very different approach that you first intended to have when you created them. So yeah, more or less that story. We went from mobile to the PC, and when we went on the PC, we find out that as the PC as an open platform, you can basically connect to whatever you want this software. So we went from I have a single application that I can have my experience, and then I can share whatever audios that I created with this on social media, from a live real-time experience, because I can connect VoiceMod as of today to any Hangouts, Discord, Fortnite, whatever game, communication app, or whatever software I'm using to communicate with others. And that gives me the ability to have a consistent identity through different digital spaces. So really the magic of what we are building and on the strategy that we're crafting, as you know, on going also B2B is precisely to have these interoperability of the identities through different spaces, so I can have consistency on what is my digital identity over devices and over OSs.
Yeah, I think when I listen to your story, that's pretty amazing what you built. I think you're already have like what it is, 10 million revenues, more than that even. So you basically build that from scratch, which is quite impressive. And you're moving from the B2C to the B2B, which is a huge challenge. So I wanted to get your thoughts maybe on what are the challenges you had as you were scaling up your company. Obviously financially in terms of support, but also more like in culture and values and how the company changes and you adapt to it.
Well, I think during this whole roller coaster story of many years, we faced different challenges depending on the stage. So I would say on this lately on this growth stage that we've been for the last 2-3 years, we went from 30 people in the company to more than 150. We went for single office to fully remote all over the world. We even went from official language being Spanish, official language being English. So we went with a whole transformation, not only on how we do things, but also how we approach things, how we make processes, how we make everything basically on the company. So with it, we needed to rethink every single thing that we do. So one of the challenges, I guess, from the founder's perspective is also that when your company is growing super fast, you as a founder has to be on the same pace. You have to grow at the same pace that your company is growing, and that's not always easy. I think that one of the advices that I will give to every entrepreneur that is on this process or that is going to be over this process is like, you always have to be surrounded by the best team, and you always have to ask for help. Like, it's okay not to know something. It's like, it's not that I don't know, it's that I will know. But the fact that you are facing all of these things so fast is not easy to embrace them on a pace. So for example, having help like coaching, helping on coaching on you, helping on, as I mentioned, on investing on a very senior, very, very, very powerful team that you can trust. I think for me, this has been one of the keys. And I would say the other main challenge for us this is because of the nature of our company, I guess, because the founders, we are 3 brothers. Obviously, we were born and raised under the same roof. So we share a lot of values, even though we are very different persons at the end of the day, but we share a lot of values and we share the core values. And so for us, it's really important not only what we do, but how we do it, and what's the actual DNA of our company, and how we take decisions, and how we make policies. And all of that, at the end of the day, is culture and values of the company. And that when you are in an environment of 20, 30 people that is still a micromanaged company, you know end-to-end what is happening on every single spot of the company. That's relatively easy because you are basically present all over the place, and culture and values are things that you can say, but if you really want to create or make them stand, it's something that you see. It's like something that you see on people, how people behave, how people take decisions. It's something that you have to show. We are the leaders of the organizations. We are mirrors, and people need to look at us and see the values and see the culture. So when you are small, it's relatively easy if you are your values. But one of the challenges for us was how we really scale these values, how we really hire all this top talent, but at the same time we make sure they fit into these values and this culture. So when we are not showing up on every single meeting or every single interaction on this company, because it can't happen anymore, we make sure that this culture and these values are maintained over time. So I think this has been And it is as of today, and I think it will be in the future a challenge for us, definitely.
Yeah, no, that that actually resonates in my mind because we're building this new unit, and of course, it's very difficult when you're. I mean, it's very different when you're building something from a big organization such as BBVA. So, I'm not trying to compare with in any ways. Everything is easier for me, but. When you're building something new within a big organization, there are some things that resonate in my mind, like trying to go to new countries or trying to hire the right talent. So, so why don't we talk a little bit also about the financial support and what's your experience? Maybe I can talk also what we're doing at BBVA. So, what's your experience?
Well, my experience with financial support, it's been as the challenges changed differently on the States. So at the beginning for us was super tough to raise money in Spain because the nature of our business, we were making entertainment mobile apps in 2014 in Spain. That wasn't really a easy market to raise money. So we've been kind of underfunded for most of our path. And I think that was, at the end of the day, good, and that's easy to say now, but at that time wasn't easy to live. But because that makes us bootstrap, that made us smart, that made us be hungry, be looking for ways to growth hack everything, basically. And then when we went on a more growth stage, we've been having a lot of support from government loans, also from VCs. We have Bigcraft as main investor, and also from banks. So we are having support. We luckily had a sustainable business that was growing really fast, but we take the advantage of this support on the financial side to invest in the future. So I always say that we have a business that has more or less half of our headcount, and the other half is investing in the future. We are investing in what is coming and the new products, in the new technology. One of the, I think, cool things about my company is that we are basically an innovators and pioneers on the space. So our company has a lot of components of R&D, of testing new technologies, new products, and basically enabling users to have new experiences that they didn't experience before. So for that, you need to invest in R&D, and for that purpose, finance help is always needed.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and that's what we're trying also to achieve at BBVA is that we think that we need to be close to the pioneers, as you call them, the innovators, because this is how the world is moving that way, and there's no way back. I think, and there are companies like yours, but there are going to be many more in the future. So when I think about this, there are different ways we can work with high growth companies, that's how we call them, or tech companies in general. One is helping you work with the bank. And the case for VoiceMod is not maybe as obvious, but for many companies it is. We have like millions of clients that we can give you access to, and that's really powerful if we do it the right way. And even if companies that is not so obvious, we still can do it. And through open innovation initiatives, we can invest in equity, we can be the bank. So we at BBVA, we've been, I think the open innovation piece, we've been doing it for years, and it worked well, and we have a track record on that. The investment piece, we kind of reinforcing it. We used to have well, we still have our venture capital fund we are the single LP, actually is an independent fund. It's called Propel in the US, but we're reinforcing that strategy, and we are investing in new funds. We invested in Leadwind, you know them very well. We invested in Lower Carbon in the US, which is a green tech fund. We invested in Pantera, that is a crypto fund in the US, so we have to be on top of what's going on, and we're doing it through an LP way. And then you talk about credit, about banks, and we need to be there to support the companies at every stage. So it doesn't matter as a bank. We've been very good looking backwards, but in terms of credit, and we need to look forward and to understand what's going on, understand the investments you need to, like for yourself, like going from B2C to B2B, if that makes sense, we have to do it. But not only a VoiceMod, which is a very advanced stage and is probably a bankable, like you said, is really a bankable company already. We have to go early on. There are companies that like VoiceMod when you started, and you probably got like a request from the bank to get personal guarantees and all that stuff. So we have to fix that. We have to offer something that is simpler, that is faster, that doesn't require these personal guarantees, that can really help you. And I think in the current environment is really a huge opportunity. And I know this has been the topic throughout the week, throughout South Summit for sure, and everybody talks about it, but the environment is complex. And when we think about banking and building long-term relationships, it is now more than ever that we have to be there, and I think it's a huge opportunity for us to help companies like VoiceMod.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, now is the time to stand. I personally feel very positive about what can happen or what is going to happen, or I know there's a lot of catastrophic type of predictions of what is going to happen, and I guess a lot of talks during these days were about this topic. But in my opinion, I think it was about it's about our uncertainty for the founders, for the leaders of the companies, and that is precisely when in the spot when financial help is needed in order to, let's say, grab food for the winter if the winter comes. We don't really know, but looking at the environment, I see more like a correction and a post-COVID effect on what is happening in the market, rather than a super catastrophe. But let's see. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, really nobody knows. But even if it is bigger than we think, still I think innovation is going to be there, and good companies are going to be coming out. And of course, I think capital has been a little bit irrational over the last few years. And
yeah, this is why I think it's about correction. It's about being more capital efficient, thinking about being more value to the customers, and really having real businesses doing real revenues. And I think that's good for the industry. So that's why I feel positive about it. I think it's going to bring us good things, even though it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and everybody internally is saying, no, but you're launching a new unit to support startups and scale-ups in the midst of a crisis. And I'm like, no, this is a huge opportunity. Like, we have to be there. The bank debt has to play a role, and I'm sure we're going to make it.
I think so.
So I think we have to go. I see Liz there looking at us, so I think it's time to go.
Well, that was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well done.